So, what can you do if your child is diagnosed with a mental illness? Now, the first thing is to understand that there's controllables and there's uncontrollables. You want to be able to focus on the things that you can control and not spend so much time focusing on the things that you cannot control. Now, my name is Taharka Sankara, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor, and I'm also certified in trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapy. And what that means is that I empower parents and youth to refine the quality of their relationships by increasing their self-awareness, enhancing their communication, and developing emotional management skills so that they can enjoy a peace of mind and they can transfer intergenerational health. Now, when it comes to mental illness, oftentimes there's a stigma attached to it, but you as a parent can determine how your child actually functions with a mental illness. So I want to give you some pointers on tips that you can use when dealing with your child with mental illness. And the first thing I would say, you can control your own self-healing. So your self-care is what's most important. And you know how they say, if you're taking a flight in an airplane and the attendants and the stewardesses tell you that the first thing you want to do is put on your own oxygen mask before you put on the oxygen mask or try to support and help someone else. So the first thing as a parent, if you have a child with mental illness, you want to make sure that you're taking good care of yourself, because the better you take care of yourself, the better you can take care of your child. And not only that, when you're taking care of yourself, you actually demonstrate and model to your child that they can participate in helping to heal their mental illness. The second thing I would say, you want to neutralize any stigmatization. And most times that the mental illness, there's a stigma attached to it. And there's certain labels and things that are said around that mental illness, but you want to make it more normalized in the experience. And so you want to pay attention to what you may say, how you may treat it, how you may speak about it, because you don't want them to develop a self-conscious nature about their mental illness. And think about it. Everyone gets ill. There's different types of illnesses. There's physical illnesses, there's mental illnesses, there's emotional illnesses. There's all different types of illnesses. So you want your child to recognize that they're dealing with an illness as anybody else, and as everybody has a unique situation, a unique illness, and they have to identify what's the best way to treat and work with their specific type of illness. So you want to be able to normalize it. You want to eliminate any type of stigma attached to it. And you want to make sure that they recognize that they have an illness like anyone else can have an illness. No one's exempt from any type of illness. So when you speak about it and you hear other people speaking about it, you may want to correct them. A lot of times there's terminology that is incorrect. There's concepts about a particular type of mental illness that are incorrect. And so you want to make sure that you're educating yourself as well. So that's the next thing I would say. Educate yourself on mental illness. More specifically to what your child's mental illness is. Don't allow a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or counselor, social worker, or anybody to tell you what the mental illness is. You want to be able to do your own research and be able to ask certain questions. Because a lot of times as the parent and as in self-care, we are the best knowers. So there's little nuances and intricacies that may not be visible and observable to people who's on the outside. So you want to make sure that you're educating yourself, learning as much information that you can, reading the literature, finding support groups, attending conferences and workshops that can help you learn and understand about your specific situation with your child. The last thing I would say, if your child has a mental illness, one of the things that you can do is to get them and make sure that they are practicing a diet of wellness, right? And what I mean by that is not just speaking about food. I'm speaking about all things related to health and wellness. and you want to make sure that they're healthy in that practice. I oftentimes speak about the 6 critical strategies because those are so significant and they're fundamental, and anybody and everybody can practice them. So yes, food is one of the 6 critical strategies. There's also physical exercise is one of the 6 critical strategies. Also mindfulness. You want to make sure that your sleep-wake cycle is consistent. You want to make sure that your relationships are healthy. So the way you communicate with each other, the way you communicate with your child, don't get frustrated. Don't accuse them of things. Be patient with them about what may be going on with them. And the last thing, if you need ongoing support, seek that out. Seek out a counselor, seek out a therapist for your child and for yourself so that you can help them in the best way that you possibly can. So if you've got a child with mental illness, those are some of the basic things that you can do. And remember, there's controllables and there's uncontrollables. Focus on the things that you can control. And if you're interested to learn more, I suggest and highly recommend that you join the Next Gen Parenting Group, where you can join the virtual village and communicate with other parents, other adults, other grandparents that may care for children, so that we can support you and others on a journey of parenting. And I look forward to seeing you in that room. Again, it's Next Gen Parenting. Join the group. And so I look forward to seeing you in that room.